Hello, I'm Jordan Hammond, Manager of Economic Development at Northern Development. Today I'm going to provide a walkthrough of our new online application system and show you how to submit an application. We will start first by logging in. If you don't already have an account, you will first need to create one by following the steps in the login area. Once you're logged in, this is the main dashboard that you will see. On this page, you can access your account information, any saved applications you have in progress, and you can view and apply for active funding opportunities. To prepare a new application, click on Active Programs. From here, you can see all the programs currently accepting applications. Today, we're going to submit an economic infrastructure project application, but the process for most applications is quite similar. Economic infrastructure falls under our community development suite of programs. So we'll locate this program option from the menu, then click on the program name to begin the application. I want to mention that while we have several programs open for applications, we are choosing to demonstrate how to fill out an economic infrastructure application because this is the most detailed one. Not all of our programs will have the same questions and requirements, so don't be concerned if you're filling out an application for a different program and you don't see some of the sections that we cover in this demonstration. The general section of the application form is the same for each program, but the requirements change once you enter the program-specific portion. Starting a new application. This first question is for grant writers submitting applications on behalf of another organization. If this applies to you, please fill this out. You'll be asked what organization and contact you are submitting for. For this demo, I'm going to select No, and this will advance me to the application form. From here, fill in a project name. What we're looking for is a clear and succinct description. For the purpose of this demo, we will use commercial greenhouse construction. The applicant business profile and the applicant primary contact information will be filled in already based on your account information. If any of these details are incorrect, you can edit them in your My Account section in the main navigation bar. Project overview and rationale. In this section, enter your expected start and end dates for the project. For example, March 12th, 2025 to March 12th, 2026. Next, you will provide a clear and concise overview of your project and its expected outcomes in the project description section. For project rationale, we're looking for a clear and concise summary of why this project is needed in your community. Project milestones. This is an optional section that applicants can fill in to highlight key project milestones apart from the start and end date. To create a milestone, click on New and enter the information. Today, I will enter Milestone 1, March 18th to April 25th. Click Save and the milestone will be created. Project funding. This next section is where you will build out your project budget. This includes any and all costs related to your project. To add a budget line item, click on New. For this demo, we will enter 3 line items, but you can enter as many as you require. Materials, $14,000. Labor, $3,500. And equipment, $62,000. There is an optional section to identify a vendor for this line item if you have an expected or preferred vendor. You can also select if an item is non-cash, for example, volunteer labor, as well as if an item is ineligible based on eligible costs laid out in the program guide, such as GST. There is an option to upload quotes. If you have a quote from a contractor or vendor, you can add this to the line item. Our total budget is now $79,500. You're now going to enter the amount you are requesting from Northern Development. Please refer to the program guide on our website for funding limits. Through the Economic Infrastructure Program, applicants can request up to 70% of the eligible costs to a maximum of $100,000. Today, we're going to request $55,650, which is exactly 70% of the total eligible budget. So as you can see, our budget is not balanced. We need to enter where the remainder of the funding is coming from in the other funding sections below. Just like in the budget table, click the New button to add a funding source. For the sake of time, we will add one co-funder for the amount of $23,850, the other 30% of the eligible budget. However, you can add as many funding sources as needed. There are a lot of options under funding type, so select the one that is most appropriate for your project. In many cases, this will be financial contribution. If other funding is confirmed, you can make this selection and will be prompted to attach a document confirming these funds. If you do not have confirmation of the funds at the time of application and a request is still pending, you can provide a date when you're expecting a funding decision. You'll now be asked to provide any attachments for the application. This option will also be provided at the end, so we're going to advance past this. Project-specific section. Once we hit Next, we are advancing from the General Application section to the Project-specific application. You can refer to the progress bar on the right to view what is remaining for this application. For the Economic Infrastructure Program and some others, you'll be asked if the applicant organization is the owner of the asset. If the space or property is leased or managed through some other agreement, there is a section to attach this agreement. Other applications will have varied requirements in the project-specific section of the application. We will now click Next and advance to the Resolution of Support section. For this program, you must have a resolution of support from the local or First Nation government where the project is physically located. If the resolution has already been received, you can attach it here. If you do not have one at the time of submitting your application, indicate the date of the next meeting, and this can be sent to our office once it has been received. Strategic Factors. We now hit Next and move on to the Strategic Factors section. In this section, you'll be asked to provide further details on the project and its benefits based on criteria that we have established for project assessment. For example, if the project is aligned with existing community plans. An asterisk on the application form indicates a mandatory field. This means you will need to provide answers in order to continue. If one of the questions does not apply to your project, you can simply enter NA or not applicable. For the purposes of today's demo, I'm going to fill in each section with more information required. You'll also see areas where you can add supporting documents, and again, I'm going to wait until the end to simplify the process. Key deliverables. And now we're on to key deliverables current employment. Here you can enter the current employment at the facility, if applicable, be it full-time, part-time, or seasonal. Please fill in this section and then advance to key deliverables new employment. In this section, you will fill out the new employment projections for the project. Complete this section as it applies to your project. If it does not apply, you can simply enter 0 or not applicable for these sections. We have now moved on to key deliverables revenue generation. Here you will enter current revenues for the facility and projected revenues for the first 2 years following project completion. You are also prompted to provide a text description of how this project will increase revenues for the facility. Continuing on, we don't just look at financial benefits, we like to see other indicators of success. For the Economic Infrastructure Program, we want to see 2 self-identified performance indicators that will provide success metrics. What are you tracking to demonstrate success? Some examples for our greenhouse project may include number of new sales contracts secured or annual production yield for leafy greens. This section is very important for the reporting process once the project is complete. Attachments. This is where the attachments come in. As you can see, it is much simpler to add everything at the end. If you're applying on behalf of a nonprofit, you can attach the certificate of incorporation here. There are also sections for financial statements, letters of support, before photos, etc. Please upload any documents that you feel are necessary. A reminder that if there are any documents you want us to consider after you submit your application, you can email these to our office after submission. Authorizations. The final stage before submitting your application is authorizations. You're required to read through each statement and check each box. Final submission. As we get to the Submit Application section, I want to remind you that once you hit Submit, you cannot go back and make changes or add documents. If you need a change made, email us and we can assist you. So you now want to go ahead and submit your application. There is a field to the left that says Save for Later. This is an option to save an application in progress. For questions about that option, please check the FAQ section at the bottom of this page. You can now hit Next and the submission confirmation comes up on the screen. You'll also receive an email confirmation once you submit. If you want, you can check to see the application status under the My Applications tab. The application we just submitted is there, along with an application ID and application status. On our end at Northern Development, we can see that a new application has been submitted and we will begin our review of the application. If we have any questions or need clarification on anything, our staff will follow up with you. We hope that you found this information helpful. If you have further questions related to our online application system, please refer to the FAQ document on our website or contact our office. Thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to receiving your applications.